MamaNature here. Welcome home. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your own herbal healing salve. And I'm going to use all of these herbs, and I'll go through them one by one with you in just a bit. But specifically today we're going to make my blossom salve, the all-purpose blossom salve that I've been making for more than 20 years. But you'll be able to make your own using whatever healing herbs you prefer, whatever you happen to have on hand. When making herbal remedies, your measurements are by weight. So make sure you have a good postal scale. It doesn't have to be digital necessarily, but the digital is definitely easier. Now this is the bowl that's going to go into my double boiler. So I'm going to measure all of my herbs into it. So I'm just going to zero out my balance and begin measuring my herbs. We start with 7 grams of calendula leaf. And it's not a party until you get the calendula leaves all over the place. 7 grams of comfrey leaf, 7 grams of powdered comfrey root, 7 grams of the Central American herb jackass bitters, which is otherwise known as tres puntas because it has 3 leaves, 14 grams of plantain leaves, and that's twice as much as the others, you'll notice, but that's because it's really good for its analgesic properties and its skin healing properties. I love plantain so much I got it tattooed on my arm. 7 grams of yarrow flour, and this is ishkanen. This is another one of my Central American friends. It's also called poly redhead, and we add 7 grams of that because of its ability to combat fungus. This is gumbo limbo, also known as the tourist tree because of its red peely bark. It's great for sunburn, and it's also antibiotic and antibacterial. And last but not least, we added 7 grams of po di arco, which is another Central American herb, and it's great, again, for its antibiotic and antibacterial properties. Now, sure, you could go ahead and put all these larger bits into a food processor or blender to bust them up, but I prefer to get my hands in there and to do it bit by bit. And as I'm doing it, I'm imparting it with love. I'm filling it with its intention. I want it to know that this is its job. It's going to become this beautiful healing medicine now, and every time I touch it, I'm filling it with that energy. Aside from that, because I harvested many of these herbs, this jackass bitters, I went into the jungle and I was able to harvest the plants and ask for their permission at the time of harvest. The gumbo limbo bark, I peeled the bark from the limbs personally, myself. I dried it painstakingly and brought it back to our country. So I have a long relationship with a lot of these plants, and now they're going to go ahead and they're going to go forth and do their job, which is healing. Now that the herbs are all crumbled up to the pieces that I feel are the most desirable, I'm going to go ahead and add 4 cups of oil. So this is 3 cups of extra virgin olive oil and 1 cup of melted coconut oil, or you could melt it while you have it on the stove. This is my double boiler, and in the pot I have about 1 inch of water, and I've got it on a very gentle simmer. And of course this is the bowl that we just added our herbs and our oils to. And I just want to make sure that everything is submerged, so I'm just going to go around gently and press things down that are sticking up out of the oil. And then once I'm satisfied, the lid goes on, and we're going to just let it go for about 3 hours. Nice low flame, 3 hours. Now it's time to measure out the wax that we're going to need for our salve. So this is a big block of beeswax that I get from a local apiary. This is a gentleman in my town who makes honey, of course, and the beeswax is just, it's of no use to him. So make friends with your local guy. Other than that, we're going to also add some cocoa butter. Now, cocoa butter can be bought just like this. It can be purchased bulk from a supplier, and that's easy enough to find even in your local drugstore. We're going to use about 5 ounces of beeswax and 5.5 ounces of cocoa butter. And this is going to make our salve into a firm ointment. I have my wax and my cocoa butter all measured out, and now I just wanted to show you that I had some leftover beeswax beads from another project, and those are actually easy to find too online. You can use any kind of beeswax you like. Of course, the more natural and earth-based your end product is, the more natural and earth-based your ingredients have to be. Now, when I hold this in my hand, I can feel the love. I know that beekeeper and those bees put everything from my region, all of their hard work and joy and love right into that, and that's the energy that I want in my end product. After the 3 hours has elapsed, you want to very carefully remove the bowl from your double boiler, and then we're going to strain the herbs out of it. Now what I've done is I've set up a very coarse strainer on the top of a finer strainer over a 4-cup measuring cup. Now the oil has been strained through both those strainers, but there's still some flotsam in the oil. So with the double boiler back on the heat, I'm going to take a very fine tea strainer and I'm going to pour that back into my bowl. There we go. Now only the goodies are in there. Now we put it back on the heat because we're going to go ahead and add all of our waxes. And that's why we used a paper plate, so that we can just fold that in half like a little taco, little beeswax taco. There we go. And this should take about 10 minutes for everything to completely melt down. Now the wax is almost completely melted, so I've gone ahead and turned off the flame. I've taken the oil off the heat and I added some vitamin E and some lavender oil. Lavender oil is really great for the skin, but it's also good for preserving the oil. It acts as a natural preservative, same as the vitamin E. So I kind of doubled up on my preservative. Now here's a little tip for getting the salve into your tins without making a huge mess. You want to use a butter knife and you just pour your oil right down the side of the knife. It'll go right into your container very nicely, and you'll notice that I've got this inside of another container just in case I make a mess. This is going to catch it. Yeah, baby, look at that. The finished product is so beautiful and it smells amazing. Once you've got it all tinned up, you can put your own labels and then it's good to go. You can toss it in your purse, take it with you everywhere you go. I keep one in my bag and I keep one in my medicine chest. I keep one next to my easy chair in the living room. Not even kidding. You want this wherever you are. I know that was a lot of work and it took about 4 hours, probably closer to 5. And in this instance, I actually let it sit overnight and then I finished it up this morning. So if it seems like it's too much work for you and you would rather just have one of mine, just go right onto blossomspring.com and search for All-Purpose Blossom Salve. All-Purpose Blossom Salve is good for abrasions, scrapes, cuts, even on stitches, tattoo healing. It's good for minor burns, chafing, eczema, psoriasis, any kind of contact dermatitis, mosquito bites, bee stings, and so much more. Don't leave home without it. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please click like And subscribe to my channel so that you'll see more information like this in the future. Remember, you can make and keep yourself well and your whole family well. Big hugs. Until next time.